Right. Well, so let me ask you this: what are a few relatively recent films that you love and consider classics?
I just saw 12 Years a Slave yesterday, and I think that
Oh, wow.
that is, it is an incredibly intense, incredibly brutal, and incredibly moving movie. I think that is destined to be a classic, and I think that everyone should see that. Other movies that I've seen that I think are classics, one is, which I loved. I don't know if everybody would love it, but there's a French film called Tous les matins du monde, All the Mornings of the World, and the music in that, it's early music, cello-based music, and it's incredible, an incredibly moving tale of creativity and musicality. For me, there's another film that I adore, and I can see it time and time again, and every time I get something different from it, and it's called Before the Rain, and it's a triptych of films from kind of all woven together. The languages are English, Macedonian, and Albanian, and it's a pretty remarkable film. I love seeing foreign films.
What's one of your favorite books that you love?
Favorite book that I love? There's an author that I love, Philippa Gregory, and one of the reasons I love her is because she delves into historic situations in an incredibly alive way, fully fleshed out characters, bringing very historic characters to life. But instead of telling a story about Henry VIII, she's telling it from a secondary character's point of view. So you get this bystander,
Fly on the Wall style.
Yeah, and I find her writing style incredible. I've read many of her books and really, really appreciate the work that she puts into research and into making a very compelling story.
What Broadway musicals do you truly, truly love the most?
Again, going back to the first experiences of, the first Kiss experience, I would say the old classics, 42nd Street, Showboat, things like that, where you are, as an audience member today, I find I get lost in this wonderful but pure nostalgia, harmonic nostalgia, melodic nostalgia, and character nostalgia. I love those, that kind of Broadway show.
Do you ever see your career heading toward musicals, or are you really just going to try to stay focused on the opera track?
I've been focusing primarily on the opera track, and that's where my jobs have ended up bringing me. But I haven't actively pursued, a Broadway career. They're very different styles of singing, so sometimes they don't meld very well. Although I do have colleagues who've been able to make that straddle, from one world to another, and they've done it very successfully. I just haven't happened to try that yet.
What is your opera dream role?
Oh, I have many dream roles.
What are the top two?
So La Traviata, Violetta, and that would be a dream role. It's something I haven't had the courage to present yet in auditions or anything, but it's a marvelous role. I find Violetta a very compelling character. Her music is phenomenal, phenomenally varied, and just phenomenally beautiful as well. Another one would be Cleopatra in Julius Caesar by Handel, and that is a role full of, she's devious, she's funny, she's serious, she has a lot of depth of character to her.
Excellent. Well, here, let's dive a little deeper into you, Heather.
Dive away.
What are some things you could tell us that you're embarrassed by about yourself?
That I'm embarrassed by?
Yeah.
You know what? I suppose I'm embarrassed by the fact that I'm not more up to date on contemporary popular music. I talk to friends about it, and they say, "Oh, haven't you heard about so-and-so or so-and-so?" And I just say, "No, I don't know all the modern stars. I just end up occupied with other things." So it has been embarrassing at times. I sit there and I think, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm from another world at times.
Right, and I'm sure they expect you to know everything about music because you're a musician.
Yeah.
Okay, so Heather, here, let me ask you this. What are the things about yourself that you are most proud of? Accomplishments and...
It's funny. I think the things that I'm most proud of are the relationships that I've been able to build throughout the years, not only within my own family life, but then also within the industry. I really love so many of the people that I meet on the road. It's this industry, you go from group of people to group of people to group of people. It's not often that you'll be with the same, people from time to time. And yet I'm so happy to, I don't know if it's something proud, but I'm so delighted to meet so many really wonderful, colorful personalities along the way and to be able to treasure them as friends.
Proud that you have that experience.
Yeah, and then also
then
to be able to go home and feel so happy at home as well. I love my home life. I really do.
Yeah, and that leads me to the next question. What are 3 things that you can't live without?
Oh, my kitchen.
Kitchen.
My kitchen. I love my kitchen. I love to cook. I love to cook for people.
Yes.
And you know what? If I didn't have friends to cook for, I think I'd be enormous and enormously unhappy. I love cooking, and I love cooking for people and being able to share a meal. So my kitchen would be one thing I'd be wretched without. Shoes. I love shoes. I know that's silly.
Okay.
And
women in their shoes.
They're important. Don't mock me.
You like purses too, I'm sure.
I love shoes even more, honestly. Yeah.
Okay.
And
so your kitchen and shoes
and I know that sounds very silly. And one other thing I would hate to not have is my heart. My husband is my heart. I know that sounds corny, but I am so grateful to have him in my life. He's my foundation.
Excellent.
My reason for singing.
Excellent. It's good to have that family support. You've got to have it.
Yeah.
Here, fill in the blank.
Okay.
When I want to get away from it all, I
go to yoga.
Where you just came back from.
I just got out of a yoga class, so I feel very balanced.
Yes, it's midday, the day of a performance, and I'm backstage at the opera right now with Heather Buck, who just did her yoga, and as part of her preparation to be limber and relaxed and ready for tonight's performance at the Sandler Center.
Balanced.
Absolutely. Fill in the blank. People are surprised to find out that I
also really enjoy art. I actually have a degree in art, and I love sculpting, drawing, painting, and going to a museum. I always feel like if I'm going with someone who doesn't go to a museum very often, it's like a chance for me to help show them the things that I see in a very immediate way from an artist's point of view. Thumbprints on terracotta, or an artist's brushstroke, or sometimes they do something that looks like it's slightly out of the plan, and it's so exciting.
Right. Okay, fill in the blank. Other than Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Richmond, and Fairfax, Virginia, my favorite cities are
New York.
New York
that's
City.
Home to me.
Of course.
Yeah, so
Love
New York
New York.
City is amazing.
Love it too.
Barcelona, I've worked there in Spain. I worked there 2 different times, and that is a magical city. You walk down the street, and there is a fabulous meringue of a building, this confection, just emerging out of ordinary straight lines, and it's Gaudi's architecture. The food there is incredible. The wine there is incredible. The people are so incredibly warm. I could live there. Nice. Charleston, South Carolina is incredible as well.
Love Charleston.
Santa Fe, New Mexico is amazing. This career, I've gone to so many different places, and I have to say, the United States is an amazing country. There's so many cities that are so exciting.
Yeah.
And not all of them are New York. And that's one of the exciting things. It's like every one doesn't have to be the same thing. You don't have to fit into the same cookie-cutter mold.
Right.
And that is, I think, one of the things that makes this country so incredible.
Right, and with such an interesting history behind all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here's a strange one. Fill in the blank. I have a secret crush on...
I have so many secret crushes. The guy, I don't know his name, but he is a fine specimen. The guy on True Blood who plays the wolf guy. He's hot.
Oh, he's got some big muscly arms.
He does.
My most obvious guilty pleasure is
Baked goods.
baked goods.
Yes.
I'd really love to meet or have met
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough
I would love to have met him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Newman, but he's he was an amazing man and did so much for
and
the world.
one of the things that I
really.
really respect about him was he was able to accomplish amazing things artistically, not only on screen but also off screen,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
in society itself. To set up this incredible foundation and
Foods,
charity
organic foods, and
he really delved into making the world a better place, and I think that's incredibly important. It's a very easy thing to forget as one goes through one's own struggles in life, but to give back is incredibly important.
Where do you find your happiness?
I try to find my happiness in every day, being grateful for where I am and what I'm doing, the freedoms I'm allowed, the foundation that is in my heart, and the joy that I can take in doing something that I love. I really feel incredibly blessed.
Wonderful. Well, after a very successful run at Norfolk's Harrison Opera House this past week, the Magic Flute, featuring the very talented Heather Buck as the Queen of the Night, is being performed by Our Virginia Opera in Virginia Beach at the Sandler Center tonight, November 15th, and also this Sunday, the 17th. Then the show is traveling to Richmond, Virginia, and it'll be performed there on the 22nd and the 24th. And then it's traveling up to Northern Virginia area, Fairfax, Virginia, December 6th and 7th. And you can get more info and purchase tickets at vaopera.org, vaopera.org. And I just want to take the time to first thank the Virginia Opera for having me here to interview their extremely talented artist, Heather Buck. And I want to thank Heather. Thank you so much for sitting with me and chatting and being so open and revealing with your life and with your time.
Thank you, David. This was a delight, a true delight. And I hope to see you in the audience instead of behind your camera, enjoying it without having to click away.
I'd say I really do enjoy it both ways.
Yeah.
But certainly when you're sitting down and you're not concentrating on catching those moments, it's an amazing experience. And watching you and hearing you sing, I mean, your voice is so strong, it just fills up the opera house.
Oh, thanks.
And it really is a magical experience, and I really encourage listeners to get out there and check out the Magic Flute by Virginia Opera. It's wonderful.
You will not be disappointed.
No,
it is
you will not.
impossible
All right.
with this crowd.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.